Well, my daily driver's on the fritz. So, I did the right thing and bought a high mileage plow truck. Seems fine. Let's take a walk around it and see what we're getting into. Overall, it's not terrible. I mean, it does have a smashed mirror here. The doors are mostly there. Fenders aren't rotted out too bad. Tailgate is there. I'm not sure if it's operational or not. Yep, I guess so. We got some spare lights and a toolbox. Ooh, it's got the Line-X. Trailer hitch. Lights all seem intact. Seems we do have a little bit of a vent speed hole here. You can see the whole inside seems like it's gone. That's fine. Gas door has been replaced. It does have some good tires on it. And the frame back in here is typically where they go bad. Now, you southern folks might look at this frame and be like, that's pretty rusty. But here, this is considered Midwest solid. Now, we do have some lower door delete going on. And I think this was actually a plan by GM. Now bear with me. The performance of the engine goes down, so to compensate for that, they just make some weight fall off the truck. It's perfectly fine. Alright, let's check out the interior. Front door opens, they normally do. Back door. It's not rusted solid. Taking a look at the inside here, it is the leatherette variety. Actually, I think, nope, that is real leather on part of it. Nope, that is real leather. And, driver's seat has a little bit of wear. Back seat is full of parts. That's fun. But overall, interior looks pretty complete. Relatively clean. Ooh, we do have power windows, power mirrors. And somebody looks like they put in a new head unit, so that's fun. Headliner is still kind of holding on. But let's pop the hood and see what we're looking at. Oh, all right. Well, yeah. Okay. Let me bring you in here. Well, it does look like we have a performance air raid intake. That's fun. It looks like every valve cover and gasket is leaking, so that should keep the rust down. And over here we can see the brake lines have been replaced, and they left the old ones in, for spares. I can see why that one is no more. Oh, and the ignition wire seems to be rubbing on the steering column. I'll add that to the list. Well, I think the first thing I want to do is figure out how to get this plow off because it's in the way and, well, I'm not going to be using the plow. Alright, so I guess that comes apart. That comes apart. I already pulled out the cotter pins. Now we got wiggly. Let's check the other side. Pins all seem loose. That seems tight. Let's lower that down. Well, if it's not clear, I don't know how to take off a plow. I don't know how to take off a plow, but the pin on it's disconnected, so throw it in reverse and brake. Yeah, maybe. All right, let's try that. Alright, well, that wasn't easy. It is off, though. Stay on the cart. Now, you may have heard it when we fired it up before that it's a little clanky. We are lower on oil, so we're gonna try to do the ATF trick on this. So we got a little bit of diesel oil just left over. Put that in. And some multi-vehicle ATF. And just to help it out a little bit, clean up the lifters, we're throwing some Marvel in there. Alright, we'll fire it up and just let it run for about a half an hour and see if it quiets down. Alright, it's been idling for about a half an hour or so. It seems to have gotten a little bit quieter. So we'll let it cool down, we'll drain the oil, and then refill it back up. So I was going through the engine bay, pulling out the wiring for the plow, and these were all just kind of sitting around, bouncing around in the engine bay with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exposed wire ends. So I'm hoping that might have something to do with the battery drain. I don't know, we'll find out. Well, I will say that the nice thing about having a lifted truck is you don't have to jack it up to change the oil. So that's kind of cool. Totally missed it. So, not a whole lot on the magnet. I was actually expecting a lot more. Well, we'll let that drain and clean up my mess here. Alright, to fill her back up, we're just using Rotella T4 1540. It's a little bit heavier than what's supposed to go in it, but let's just see how it likes it. Well, oil pressure went up to 40, so that's good. Well, as you can see, it's bright out, meaning it's the next day. And I don't know if you've ever gone to the store for two things and forgot half of them, but apparently I did. And let's finish up this oil change. So these trucks take, I think, 6 quarts of oil and put in 5 quarts of oil. So we're going to add in the rest of this as in Lucas. This does have the auxiliary oil cooler on it, so it might take a little bit more, but let's set this in and see how it likes it. Well, after adding in that Lucas, it quieted down quite a bit, so that's good. Now, I do want to knock some of the ugly off of this truck, and these faded door bump strips, they gotta go. These seem like they're peeling off. Yeah. Paint's bubbled a little bit, but some big dents. They didn't really protect it from getting dented. To remove this leftover residue, I find that these eraser wheels for moving like vinyl decals work really well on this stuff. So we'll just keep at it. We've got all the residue off, I guess. So just some soap and water, wash it down. Find all the dents. Might have to hit this spot once again because there's just a little bit more residue here, but going over it again is not a huge deal. I will say though that sometimes you do have to be careful because underneath here it just holds moisture, and sometimes the paint will peel, or when you're peeling them off, sometimes the paint will peel. Or over here, you can see like the paint's bubbling just, you know, because the moisture holding in there. So obviously they don't prevent dents, so take them off. Well, since I'm not a fan of these go-go gadget mirrors, and this one's broken, obviously. We did have the original ones that came with the truck, so let's swap those out. That just came out. There we go. And to put the new one in, it's just the reverse. Slide that through. Stay. Just squeeze our foam in there. Looks foamish. And then this goes in there. And just like that, our new mirror is on. New old mirror. Cool. Well, we got some time before the sun goes down. It's not just caking on us, so let's give this thing a bath. See how it turns out. One downside of having a lifted truck. Alright, well, you might be wondering, why wash such a rough truck? Well, it's motivating when it's clean. If it just looks like a complete pile, then it's less motivating. Alright, let's start by cleaning out the interior here. We've got a bunch of stuff in here. We got air boxes, the original one, bags, more air box stuff, radio, ooh, a nickel. This truck's already paying for itself. Alright, let's get all the mats out, and I guess we'll start vacuuming, get the big stuff up first. More firecrackers? I think it's a dud. So here I just have a mix of Tide laundry detergent and Purple Power for the grease and grime. Let's see how well this stuff wants to come out. Also, not perfect, but definitely better. Well, it's a couple of days later. Some parts started rolling in. So today we get to tackle the rusted exhaust manifold bolts. Yay! See how many of those we snap off in the process? I mean, remove. And then while we're at it, we're going to take care of the transmission cooler lines, because they look like they're holding on just by a prayer. I've already got the wheel off, the fender skirt liner inside, whatever, removed, just it's easier access. And we're going to start on the passenger side because there's less stuff to get around, so it's inherently a little bit easier. Let's dive in here and show you what we got going so far. I've already tried removing this one bolt, got that one out. The other one was previously snapped over here. So let's try on these. And I've had these soaking in PB Blaster for about a week already. But let's start by heating it up. I just have some MAP gas and a torch here. Alright, got that one out without snapping it. So I'm just going to repeat that process a handful more times, and hopefully we don't snap any more off. Yes, 2 hours later, got it all apart. Let me show you what we did. So we got all the broken studs out. It was this one and I think this one. Just using the extractor, and one casualty we did have was the dipstick tube, and well, using a slide hammer and vice grips, we were able to pop that out. Right now I just have it set in there, so no rust and chunks fall in it, but I think at this point we should, while we got everything open, probably change out those trans lines, because it looks crunchy. And I'm not sure if it would help to have all this open or not, but we'll give it a shot. So to get at these trans lines, this front has to pop off, front grill. And this tool is actually really awesome. It's I think it's just called a Christmas tree clip remover, but it works awesome for this kind of stuff. Most of the time. Looks like most of these tabs are already snapped off, so it should make it a little bit easier. Well, I guess that's one way to get it off. Everything's held on with a zip tie. Alright, fantastic. But now we have access to get at these lines here, which don't look great either, unfortunately. Well, I guess I need to stop just looking at it and do it, so let's dive in. So we have these little plastic collars that just kind of cover it there. And we'll just kind of loosen those up, break those free. The new lines come with them, so I'm not too worried about destroying the plastic covers, but get those out of the way. And then there's just this little E-clip. Slides that out. That's the only thing holding in your line, so let's just repeat that a handful more times and hopefully we can get these lines out then. Alright, so we got the old lines out in one piece. Didn't have to cut them, but it was a lot of this kind of stuff, so I can't really help you out on how to get it back in because, well, I don't know how I got it out. It was just a lot of that. Not really a whole lot to see in there. It's just tight, so we got our new lines. We're going to try, this one was the last to come out, so this one is going to be the first to go in. So after about 2 hours of struggling, we got the new lines in, ran up there, got all those connected. Now we just gotta finish up connecting the two easiest ones up front here. Oh, these should have been the two easiest lines. Alright, well, I'm going to struggle with this for a bit and eventually get that in. Alright, so we got the trans cooler lines all hooked up. By far, huge pain in the ass. But back to where we started, let's get these exhaust manifolds back in. Got them cleaned up, got some new gaskets and bolts. So let's dump them in. Alright, so we did grind up the flanges here, leveled them out with the flap wheel. And just slide these in. Alright, just doing the first and last one there. They have cutouts there, so that makes it a little bit easier. Alright, so manifold side out and down. So we'll just drop this in there. Bada bing. And then we'll just torque them to spec. Alright, this far back bolt fought me the most. Can't get in there with a drill. Tried using every extension and elbow and combination. Couldn't get in there. It was snapped off at the head. After probably 3 hours of welding, like studs snapping them off, studs snapping them off. Started to get it, so let me bring it in here and show you what I did. I've got enough of a stud welded on there that I could get the extractor out. So now we just got to finish backing that out and not snap it. Yes, victory, finally got it. Alright, so we've got one broken off stud here, and this one I think it should be a little bit easier. Let's start by heating it up. Just trying not to melt the fitting right next to it. A little bit of PB Blaster. Alright, that one feels like a better size. Now I'm just gonna hammer this on. And then with an impact, hopefully it just backs out. Awesome. Now with a Scotch-Brite on a 90-degree thingy-majub. We can get in here and clean up all these faces now. Alright, I think at this point we're ready to start putting back together. Got the intake manifold all cleaned up. Let's drop it in. It was easier to come in from this direction. I believe that's how I took it out too. Alright, so we're going to start with lining up this front bolt again. Alright, now with those two end bolts in, we got enough space in there. We can slide in our gaskets here. Alright, so manifold side and down. It just drops in there. We'll just start the rest of them here. Alright, we've got all of them started. We're just going to snug them up here. And before it gets too tight, we're going to get these flanges here mounted up. Might actually loosen this up again. Alright, so for the exhaust gasket, this is what they say to use. It doesn't seem right, but we have it, so we'll put it in. And then on top of it, I had to drill out all those holes. So we're just using a mix of standard and metric, because that's what I had sitting around. So future Chris will really appreciate this. All of our lines are back on, and I did notice that our power steering pump is also pretty crunchy, so that might be a future project. But for now, I think we're ready to fire it up and check for leaks. Well, I didn't see any leaks, so I think we can finish putting the front end back together on this thing. A lot of these clips just break, so I went onto Amazon and just found one of these like mixed supplies of clips and stuff. This came in handy quite a bit. I will post links for all the parts that I used if you're looking to do this yourself. Alright, let's check the fluids one more time and then let's go take it for a test drive. Alright. Fire it up. Oh, AC works. Works real well. Steering seems real heavy, like it was over tightened. And I can tell that it definitely needs new shocks all the way around, because when you start cornering, this thing is like just bobbing all over the place. We'll end up adding that to the list of things to do. Shifts through all the gears. Seems to have pretty good pickup. Handling, definitely needs new shocks. But you know, overall it's staying cool. I think we're just under 210. It's been idling. At idle we got 40 psi at oil pressure. And the AC works, so not too bad. I think there's something stuck in that blower motor. Fan comes on, you get this weird vibration, like an acorn or something that was dumped in there. We'll take it apart eventually. Alright, well I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more work to do on this. We've got to do rockers, doors, shocks eventually, and then find out what's buried in that blower motor. But that's going to do it for this episode, so thanks and take care.